The wonderful and incredible thing about bees is the way our history has been intertwined for millennia. I mean, these are the creatures that gave us candlelight, they gave us beeswax for polishing leather, they gave us sweetener, honey, they gave us mead, and most importantly, they pollinate our crops. I'm Nick Dowse. I'm the founder of Honeyfingers and the Honeyfingers Collective, which is a Melbourne, Naarm-based creative beekeeping studio. It's a network of people who do all sorts of creative things. So we've collaborated with painters, photographers, sculptors, food artists, architects, sound artists. Essentially, whoever's around at whatever point in time it is, if they've got a creative idea, we run with it. And we always centre our work around bees. Hey, Karina.
Hey, Nick.
Now, under here, I've been very naughty and left off the inner hive lid, so we can see that. There's beautiful burr comb in here. Burr comb is a description beekeepers use to describe honeycomb that isn't inside a frame, and it's full of honey.
Beekeeping itself as a practice creates a really beautiful terrain to reflect and feel connected to the rhythms and cycles of nature. My name is Karina Utomo. I'm an experimental and extreme metal vocalist. And I am an amateur beekeeper, and I've been learning beekeeping from my mentor, Nick. Wow.
Whoa.
Looks very heavy. One of the first things that I've learnt from Nick, prior to opening a hive, you should be in a state of calm. And it's possible to beekeep without any gloves. And when we're moving slowly and speaking softly, you shouldn't bother them too much.
There's this weird little paradox where you have to accept the fact of being stung if you don't wear gloves, but not wearing gloves makes you, in this case with these hives, a better beekeeper. Yeah, it's just a wonderful mindfulness exercise and a little reminder that sometimes accepting risks you can manage helps you relax a little.
You can't really predict what the bees are going to do like any other animal or, creature that we don't have control over. So it's quite beautiful to just sort of observe how they interact within our landscape. My name is Sarah and I'm a documentary photographer from Melbourne. I've worked on a number of projects with Honeyfingers over the years. Probably the most recent one was with Acid Springfield, and that's more of a soundscape sort of project, and I just worked on the video and to create a music, like a video clip.
The nature of experimenting with sound means that you never know what the result's going to be. Once we got into a hive and looked inside, we really did feel like there was a lot of similarities between ambient music and the workings of the hive.
In general, I like to explore themes relating to the environment, people, community, and our landscape.
Many, many years ago when I was studying architecture, I had this sort of idea about planet architecture and human architecture and insect architecture. So this is just a little piece that we made in cooperation with the bees. I love the way they attend to whatever you put into the beehive. So if you understand how and when bees build comb, you can start to do these little interventions with them. I grew up in the Gold Coast, right on Currumbin Creek back in the 70s, where people would buy a house at the front, would have a spare quarter acre at the back. And it was semi-rural. Two of my neighbors had beehives. I was first stung by my neighbor's bees, and I first saw a swarm being caught in my tree by my neighborhood beekeeper. Years later, I enrolled in architecture as an adult, and in my first design studio, I just went on a deep dive into the architecture of the honeybee superorganism, and something in me was switched on, and I've just been exploring the beauty of the honeybee superorganism ever since. As Honeyfingers has developed, it's become a few different things. Primarily, we're really interested in communicating all the issues around honeybees, food security, and urban ecology to the public. What we're trying to talk about with our audiences is bringing those connections back into the city, because historically, beekeepers have always kept bees in urban environments. It was only in the 20th century that we kind of started to have a separation between urban environments and food production. Honeyfingers manages hives predominantly in the inner north of Melbourne and in the east, so backyards in Hawthorne, including some apartments. We also have a couple of community garden spaces, so Pentridge Community Garden, up in Coburg, Fair Share in Abbotsford. Wow, it's so heavy.
Whoa.
Oh,
Holy moly.
full of honey.
The honeybees have worked all season to collect nectar, build the cells, and create this honey for us. So you tend to only take it, rob it, if there is a surplus, because you want to make sure that there's enough food for the hive that will last them through the winter season.
So we put the frames into the basket. You can do 2 or 4 with this one. And then once it's like in there and evenly loaded, thumbs clear.
Yep.
I'll just slow it down a little bit.
There are so many facets to beekeeping, and I guess one thing that I've particularly noticed, I do feel more of a sense of awareness of what is going on around me. So I have caught myself doing a little bit of bee stalking, just watching bees, watching which flowers they're attracted to, seeing, you know, their pockets full of pollen. They're affirming encounters, I guess. So I think having that awareness is really special and has been the gift of the honeybee.